gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Hey everybody, well I'm back in the kitchen again today, and I have a big bowl of beautiful sour oranges which I picked from my neighbor's tree right next door. I was super excited to find out that it was a sour orange tree. I went over and talked to them about the oranges over there, and they said, oh, they're a little disappointed because they ended up being more of a sour bitter orange. And my eyes lit up because I was like, yes, this is perfect, because now I can make some orange marmalade. I was actually thinking about planting a sour orange, or like a Seville type orange tree in the yard so that I could make marmalade every year. But having this next door, this is really perfect, so I was super excited. So thank you, Brad and Barb, for the delicious orange. Now you can see these oranges are real kind of bumpy and craggy, and they're actually a little bit lighter than a normal juice orange because the actual skin and the pith is a lot thicker on this than a normal orange. And then the inside, where the juice part of it is a lot smaller. Actually, here's one that I cut in half already, and you can see that thick layer of pith and the zest on the outside, which is great because this is exactly what we want for our marmalade. Now, marmalade is very simple. It has very few ingredients. We have the oranges, the lemon. Like I said, I've got 2.5 pounds of oranges. I have 1 lemon. I have 5 cups of sugar. I have 6 cups of water. I'm going to actually juice these oranges, and I'm going to save the juice for that, and I'm going to add that as well. And then as far as other things that I have my jars in the oven heating up, sterilizing. I have the lids on the stove in a pot of water boiling. And then I also have a funnel, a canning funnel, to get the marmalade into the jars. I have a muslin bag, which we're going to be using a little bit later to put all the seeds and the kind of the insides of the orange into here, which we're going to use to boil in the bag. And I have some string, some butcher's twine, which I'm going to use to tie that to the side of the pot so we don't lose it into the pot. And really, that's about it. I have a candy thermometer and a big pot on the stove, and really that's all that we need. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting these oranges in half. I've washed these off really well and dried them off, and because we're going to be using the rind. So now the next step is going to be to juice them all. So cut them in half. We're also going to juice our whole lemon. Get that in there. I'm not going to use the skin from that. Okay, and then all of this pith and seeds, all that we're going to save and put this into this bowl. All right, so all of this we're going to use. We're going to put all of this in that muslin bag that I showed you earlier, and we're going to boil this with our marmalade. I squeezed all of those oranges and that 1 Meyer lemon, and I ended up with about 2 cups of juice, which I was surprised. I thought they were going to be a lot drier than that because they felt so light, but actually they were pretty juicy. So I said I got 2 cups of juice from that. And I also took all of that pulp and all the seeds that you saw that I collected out of the top of the juicer, and I put all of that inside of this muslin bag. And you'll see how we're going to use that later. So the next step is we're going to take all of these orange rinds and we're going to julienne them up. Okay, I find the easiest way to take care of these is just to cut them in half again, and then just make some nice fine julienne. Just like that. Now some people like these cut really fat strips, some people like really fine strips. I kind of like this sort of in the middle, just like this. I think it's perfect for the way I like the marmalade. Now some people also remove all of this white pith because they don't like the bitterness with the marmalade. And for me, the bitterness in a marmalade is the most important part. When I buy a orange marmalade in the store and it's really sweet and there's no bitterness to it, I'm always disappointed. So I really enjoy that nice, strong, the more bitter the better for me. But that's also personal preference, and do this however you like. If you don't like the bitterness at all, don't use these type of oranges. Just use some nice, sweet navel oranges, and you're going to have a nice, sweet marmalade in the end. But this is more of a traditional style, using sort of these sour and bitter oranges. So now this is really the most tedious part, although it doesn't take that long to julienne all of these oranges. I like a lot of zest in my marmalade. You may also like a little bit less. You might like more of the jelly and less of the zest, but I like a lot of zest, and I like it nice and bitter. Now I say that because you don't have to use all of this orange rind here. You can use half of it. You can use just a little bit, or you can use all of it. I'm going to use all of it because, like I said, I like it nice and thick with the rind. Okay, there it is. Really, that didn't take that long. It took less than 5 minutes to julienne all of that up. So we're going to take all of this and we're going to put it into our large pot. Then the next thing we're going to add is that juice that we squeezed from all of the oranges. And then I'm going to add our water. And then I'm going to get a piece of string and I have our muslin bag here, which has all those seeds and the insides of the oranges, and I'm going to tie the string to the bag. Okay, and then we're going to put that into here, and then I'm just going to tie it to the side. Okay, now we're ready to take this to the stove. And we're going to let this, bring this up to a simmer, and we're going to let it simmer for 2 hours, because what we want to do is we want to make all of this nice orange rind really soft and tender. So this is the longest part of the whole process. Now our oranges have come up to a simmer now. Now this is exactly what we want this to look like. We want this to lightly simmer for about 2 hours. And we're just going to keep an eye on it. If it gets a little too low, we may have to add a little more water, but we're just going to, or turn it down, but we're just going to let this lightly simmer. And then throughout the process, I'm going to come in and I'm going to skim off some of this foam that's created on there, just because we want that to get rid of that, so we have a nice clear marmalade. So we'll see you in a couple of hours. All right, well, our oranges have been simmering here for about an hour and a half, and we're just about ready. Not quite the 2 hours that we were expecting it to be. What we really want is for our peel to be really tender, and if you pinch it like that, it pinches right in half, just like that. I'll show you again. This is super hot, but pinch it. See how tender that is? This is perfect. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to remove our muslin bag. And I'm going to let this cool off a little bit so I can squeeze it really well and get all of that pectin that's going to be coming out of that fruit in there. But first we're going to let this cool just a little bit. But while our muslin bag is cooling, I'm going to add our sugar. So that was 5 cups of granulated sugar. Okay, now our muslin bag has cooled down enough that we can handle it. I'm going to squeeze it really well into the rest of our ingredients, and you can see all of that kind of stuff coming out of there, and that's a lot of that is that pectin that's going to help thicken up our jam. So I'm going to squeeze this out really well. All right, now that we squeezed that muslin bag to get as much of that pectin out into our marmalade, that's going to help thicken it up. Now that's kind of the old school way of doing it. You can always get a package of pectin and throw that in as well. But the next step here is to bring this up to a rolling boil, and we're going to let this boil for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we want to bring the temperature of the marmalade up to about 220 degrees. And then when we reach 220 degrees, we're ready to go. We're ready to put it in our jars. Okay, our marmalade's been simmering for about 25 minutes, and we brought it up to 220 degrees, and now we're ready to put it into our jars. I have my jars in the oven, and I also have my lids and my rings on the stove here in boiling water. All right, so it looks like that batch made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half pints, and then I had 1 full pint jar here. So that's pretty good for our, what do we have, 2.5 pounds of oranges. So anyway, the next step is we're going to put these in a water bath. You know, you don't have to water bath these if you're just going to put them in the refrigerator. This is basically ready to eat as soon as it cools down, ready to eat, you know, already. You don't need to process it in a water bath. Just put it in your refrigerator and enjoy it that way, and it'll last, you know, for a little while in the refrigerator. If you want them to be more shelf-stable, that's when you need to either pressure can them or can them in a water bath, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them in a water bath, and I'm going to boil them for about 20 minutes. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, there we go. 8 beautiful jars of our homemade orange marmalade. So thank you again, Brad and Barb, for allowing me to come over and take some oranges off your tree. I might be sneaking over there and getting some more later. But I wanted to make enough so that I could share with them. But look at that beautiful, beautiful orange color. Oh man, and I'd have to say that orange marmalade is one of my very favorite types of preserves. I made some more the other day, and I made more of this darker style. Now, all you really need to do is do the same process that we did, and then you cook it a little bit longer, and you start to kind of caramelize the sugar and stuff in there, and then you make a darker, deeper flavored marmalade. And oftentimes when I make a marmalade like this, I like to add some single malt scotch. And actually, the last time I made it, I used some of this Lafroig single malt. It's an Arlo single malt that's very, very smoky and peaty. So it's actually kind of like smoking a pipe when you're drinking it. But it adds a really kind of fun flavor to the marmalade. Especially, I like it especially with this darker type of marmalade. As a matter of fact, last time I made this, my good friend Chuck, I think he ate 3 or 4 of these jars all by himself. He loved it so much. So now we just need to let these cool down a little bit. Oh, you can hear them starting to pop a little bit here. They're sealing. Anyway, look how pretty that is. It's so beautiful. And as a matter of fact, this one actually is a beautiful orange as well. Let me light it up with my flashlight, and you can see this one has a beautiful, rich orange color as well, just not as bright and vibrant as these are. Anyway, lots of fun. I love doing this. I love making this sort of thing. And I hope you'll try this out and let me know what you think. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot. And we will see you.
Gas up the Jeep, it's fun to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I.